Chapter 12, Crystalline Solids, Exercise 12.35. Nickel crystallizes with the face-centered cubic unit cell. The radius of a nickel atom is 124 picometers. Calculate the edge length of the unit cell. The length of the face diagonal of the face-centered cubic unit cell is L times the square root of 2. Also, the length of the face diagonal of the face-centered cubic unit cell is 4 times the atomic radius. We can use this equation to calculate the edge length by plugging the value of the atomic radius. Now both sides divided by the square root of 2. And we'll get the edge length, 351 picometers. That's the answer to part A. The edge length of the unit cell is 351 picometers. Now calculate the density of nickel in gram per cubic centimeters. We'll use this equation for density. Density is equal to mass over volume. And we'll look at the mass of one unit cell divided by the volume of one unit cell. So what's the mass of one unit cell? The mass is the mass of 4 nickel atoms, because in the face-centered unit cell we have 8 corner atoms, and we can count only 1/8 for each corner atom, as only 1/8 of the corner atom is inside the cell. There are 6 atoms on the face, and we can only count 1/2 of each face atom. Therefore, we have a total of 1 plus 3. That is 4 nickel atoms in 1 cubic cell unit. And how much does 1 nickel atom weigh? Well, we know 1 mole nickel atoms weigh 58.69 grams. But that's 1 mole nickel atoms. We need to divide this by Avogadro constant. Now on top we have the number of nickel atoms inside one unit cell, which is 4, times the mass of one nickel atom, which is its molar mass divided by the Avogadro constant. Now what's the volume of one unit cell? Well, it's simply the edge length cubed. Now what's the edge length? The edge length was computed to be 351 picometers. Over here we need to convert picometers to centimeters. 1 picometer is 10 to the power of negative 12 meters. We're not done yet, because 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So again, 351 picometers can be converted to centimeters this way. First we convert picometers to meters, and then we convert meters to centimeters. And now this is the setup. The unit of this value would be gram per cubic centimeter, 9.01. And most metals have a density between 2 and 20 gram per cubic centimeter. So if you get a value much smaller than 2 or much larger than 20, you might have to double check the calculations. Let's get back to the expression here. Over here we have 4 nickel atoms in each unit cell. And this is the molar mass of nickel divided by Avogadro constant. And this is the mass of 1 nickel atom in grams. After we multiply these two terms, we get the mass of the 4 nickel atoms inside 1 unit cell. On the bottom, we have the volume of the unit cell, which is the edge length to the power of 3. What's the edge length? The edge length is 351 picometers. 1 picometer is 10 to the power of negative 12 meters, and 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So this is the setup, and this value 9.01 is in gram on top and cubic centimeter on the bottom.